Sup flappers, welcome back to another video. So as you can see from the title today, we're going to be talking about Arataki Itto. And I know, in the very beginning, the second you have seen Eula standing right here front and center, you're like, you know what, why am I even watching this video? Why was this ever a question? Why was I ever in doubt? Eula all the way, thighs cures all diseases in life. But realistically, alright, listen to me real quick here, because currently we most likely are in the middle of some sort of transition. And the reason I say that is because you guys have to understand how miHoYo is currently designing each main DPS role to scale with certain stats. So what do I mean by that? Attack percentage, HP percentage, energy regen, elemental mastery, and of course our most beloved defense percentage. Currently miHoYo has found a creative way, a relatively creative way for these main stats to all bleed into some form of offensive gameplay, right? So the obvious one being attack percentage, we have plenty of main characters scaling off of attack percentage, right? We got Ganyu, we got Zhao, and of course the classics like Keqing, we got Eula, and then we got people who scale off of HP percentage. So you got characters like Zhongli, you got characters like Hu Tao. These characters scales amazingly with HP percentage. And of course, we got characters like Raiden Shogun, who now scales with energy regen. And who can forget elemental mastery scaling units such as Sucrose, such as Venti Kazuha, you know, the Anemo gang. So understand that currently we do not have sufficient tools to facilitate the scaling of defense units. So for Albedo, yes, we did have artifacts that could kind of lean into what he's good at, but you can never really say there were artifacts that really could make him shine until now, right? I mean, just really, people, take a look at this artifact set, the Husk of Opulent Dreams, and tell me this particular set doesn't fit well with Albedo, right? Of course, I know this is an Itto video, but understand that for people who have Albedo, if you're going to be pulling Itto, that's just going to be the best pairing you can possibly imagine right now for this current defense meta that is shaping up to be something quite phenomenal. And of course, I haven't forgotten about Noelle. Noelle equipping this artifact set could see quite a substantial boost as well. However, the 4-piece set seems to be a little more tricky for her to consistently upkeep. That being said, if you play Noelle correctly, properly, you could cycle through her burst skill with very little downtime. But this is an Itto video. Why do I bother making this video? It's because I know a lot of people are skipping Itto, right? Not just Itto, a lot of people are skipping 2.3 banners in general, around like 40%, give or take. Last time I checked, I'm going to throw up the poll on screen, and this poll is reflected through all of the content creators community polls, not just mine. People in general, some communities, I've seen it up to 50% are skipping this entire patch. And I get it, of course. Ganyu, Zhao, these characters are coming up, but I'm hard pressed to say that Zhao is going to be able to be definitively better than Itto, even with these artifacts. Let's say if Itto is paired with Albedo, is paired with Goro, and you want to throw Zhongli, or you want to throw whatever, whoever you want into the mix, a healer, whatever, right? I'm hard pressed to say that Itto won't be a very potent main DPS. So think of Itto right now as potentially someone like Hu Tao, right? And yes, you guys may be saying, well, Hu Tao only needs Xingqiu to come online, whereas if you're saying Itto needs Albedo, then are we, you know, right, like Walrus, are we really speaking on the same level of investment here? Well, that's true, you do have a point. So here is the thing, what I want to focus on is Itto's performance level with Goro, simply with Goro, right? Albedo is like the icing on the cake here, but let's see how Itto is capable of performing with just Goro, because if Itto can perform up to par, let's say he can outshine most traditional main DPS, someone like Diluc, someone like Keqing, someone like basically Klee, these are relatively standard thresholds that if you are saying you are a new gen meta pick of a main DPS, you should be able to outperform some of these units that I'm mentioning. Let's just bench people like Ganyu, bench people like Zhao, alright? We'll save them for a little later, but currently is Itto even capable of outperforming traditional main DPS? My answer honestly is going to be yes. I do think Itto is going to be able to outdo a lot of these more traditional main DPS just with the help of Goro. And of course, those main DPS likely will have, let's say Diluc can have his Xingqiu if you want, or you can play whatever build you want to compare. What I want to really highlight is that miHoYo is going to make main carries viable in all main stat categories. That's, once again, I'm going to highlight the attack percentage, HP, defense, energy regen, elemental mastery, right? Defense percentage somehow ended up being the last one to receive a 5-star character in the main DPS position. Remember, Albedo is not a main DPS, he's a support DPS, so don't use Albedo as an excuse. Defense percentage has not gotten a 5-star main DPS until Itto. Just like HP percentage did not get a main DPS in the 5-star position until Hu Tao. And a lot of people are saying, well, Itto is just a 5-star Noelle. In a way, you are correct, but looking at Itto's kit, right, it's more fluid than Noelle, I want to say. It's kind of like an on-hit fighter type unit, I almost want to say, from just how he looked and played in the patch 2.3 livestream. And of course, much different from Noelle is that Itto's kit does not seem to rely on the need of activating his burst skill. Sure, his burst skill seems like it's going to be doing damage for a lot of damage, but you can see his mechanic playing around his charges and then using his charge attack with no stamina cost. It's definitely something that I think people are going to play around more so than his burst skill. And we all know characters who play around with their elemental skill downtime is going to be much more valuable and consistent as compared to characters who heavily rely on their burst skill. And of course, Itto having his charges not consuming stamina for his charge attack is going to be a huge bonus, because it's going to mean that he's not going to be limited by some sort of resource usage like Hu Tao, who is heavily limited by both HP and also stamina. Now, of course, at the end of the day, if you are a devotion meta player, you probably didn't even make it this far. But what I want to highlight for you all is keep an open mind. Itto likely is going to be pretty strong, especially if you pair him with his new artifact set. It's pretty much tailor-made for him, and Albedo as well. So of course, people, if you do have Albedo as well, pulling Itto certainly doesn't seem like it's going to be a waste of your time. Of course, it's going to populate your patch 2.3 with plenty of content to explore. Artifact farming is just, it's going to take months for casual or free-to-play or low spender to perfect his artifact set. On top of that, we also have the healer set for Kokomi also thrown in there, and it's safe to say for the foreseeable future, miHoYo is going to make content that leans more towards this, because why would they not incentivize or create more FOMO from people who ended up skipping, right? I'm not going to try to dissuade people from pulling for Ganyu or pulling for Zhao. Those are amazing units. Same for people who are currently pulling for Hu Tao, and you see like, oh, Itto, don't like his model, don't like how he played, could care less about Albedo and Eula banners, then I'm gonna go all in on Hu Tao. Go for it, man. Don't worry, because at the end of the day, these main carries all are here to fulfill a role, and that is to do damage. And let me tell you, Genshin Impact has plenty of ways that you can do damage. I'm just saying, people who think Itto is going to be doo-doo water, people who think Itto is just going to be a glorified Noelle, think again, all right? Itto is going to reach heights that Noelle can only dream of, especially because of the new artifact set, and as well as the introduction of Goro. And for people who have Albedos, it's just gonna feel that much better to play Itto. Triple Geo team is going to be very real. Quadruple Geo teams are going to be less and less of a meme. Trust me, a lot of things are going to happen, especially with the new Rift Wolf boss also being weak to Geo for some reason, right? Like, oh, what a coincidence, right? At the end of the day, miHoYo knows what they're doing, and I just want you guys to stay open-minded. Keep talking about this stuff, right? I would want to talk with you guys live on stream. If you got some questions, I want to gauge the audience and see exactly, realistically, all right, do you guys think the Triple Geo teams are going to take the game by storm? What do you think the usage is going to be in the Spiral Abyss regarding Triple Geo teams? Is it just a meme, or is it a very real threat and contender for some of the top picks out there? With that said, like, subscribe. I want to hear from you guys, and until next time, stay safe and peace.